Hey everyone, it's me again, and I'm back to talk about day 6 of chemotherapy. I'm already at home. As you can see, I'm no longer at the hospital. Here's the view. There's Edsa down there. So anyway, yeah. So why was I late in uploading this video? Well, we'll talk about that later. But first, let's talk about how outpatient chemotherapy was. So here's a few clips. I'm now at the chemotherapy center, the cancer center at Makati Medical. Here's my room for outpatient chemotherapy. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna sit here for about 2 hours or so, get dripped with bleomycin, and we'll see how it goes. First pre-infusion thing, I'm not sure what it is. So they're prepping me to get injected bleomycin. Mom's here now, she's taking a video. So yeah, hopefully everything will go well. So as you can see, for outpatient chemotherapy, I was at the cancer center at Makati Med. I just had to sit down and do the process, and then the entire outpatient chemotherapy actually took about an hour or a bit more than an hour. So yeah, the infusion for my chemotherapy day was actually only one medicine, bleomycin, which during BUP chemotherapy is given out during days 1, day 8, and day 15 of chemotherapy. So it's my 6th infusion day yesterday, but it's actually day 8 of my chemotherapy if you look at the calendar. Yeah, so it was pretty gnarly because I had a lot of side effects. First of all, during the chemotherapy itself, I developed some rashes on the peripheral IV hand, this hand, up to here. Some redness and a feeling of iciness, like something like, I don't know if it's frostbite, but it feels so cold and very stingy and very, not itchy, but very painful. So the doctors came by and they said it was an infusion reaction, which is normal, apparently, an expected side effect of being infused during chemotherapy. So it wasn't a big deal. They just switched up the speed of the dose and the ratio. I don't know. They controlled the ratio of the dose alongside the ratio of the PNS, the saline solution, to make it a bit easier for my body to accept. So after that, it was finished. Actually, the actual infusion only took 10 minutes, but preparing for the infusion and giving me fluids and all of that took an hour, and resolving all of the little details. So they were gonna give me medicine as well through infusion. They gave me medicine as well through infusion for nausea. They had to change the dose on the day because I did drink anti-nausea meds beforehand. So they changed the dosing, reduced it so that it doesn't conflict. But yeah, that's what happened. Afterwards, I got a bit nauseous, a bit of a headache going home. So what happened when I got home? I got home without incident. It was pretty quiet ride. So I got home and I was just chilling here on the bed, but I felt one of the most intense, I'd say, headaches of my life. Pretty intense. So I was kind of in a lot of pain because of, like all of my joints were aching, right? And I had like a lot of abdominal pain, especially around the area where I had a lot of lymph nodes tangled up here. So retroperitoneal lymph nodes. Yeah, grabe. Grabe yung sakit. Kahapon. And, okay, so pahinga lang ako. What else can I do? Parang scroll on my phone just to keep my mind occupied. And in the evening, my temperature was fluctuating. Tumaas-taas yung temperature up to borderline fever. So, hindi pa naman ako nagka-fever. 37.7. But fever is at 37.8, di ba? So, hindi pa naman ako nagka-fever, pero so I called the doctor and told him, hey doc, my temp's rising really high and I'm getting chills. So he said, well, it's expected as a side effect, so what you need to do right now is address it as a normal fever muna, paracetamol every 4 hours, and drink lots and lots and lots of water, which I actually was neglecting to do kasi nakahiga lang ako here, uminom pag nakahiga, right? So I was drinking a lot less than I would at the hospital, plus wala pang infusion, so talagang dehydrated ako. And by the way, yun yung main thing na nakakainis. Every time I wake up after the past chemotherapy sessions, laging tuyong-tuyo ako. I'm dried, my face is dry, my mouth is dry, and yeah, kasi nakaka-dehydrate pala talaga yung chemotherapy meds. Plus you have to like flush it all out a lot as fast as you can, so I have to drink a lot din. So yeah, that's a lifestyle change that I must be accustomed to. So yun. And what else? Yes. Kamusta ba? How do I feel after 5 days of chemotherapy and 1 day of outpatient chemotherapy? Well, I'm not that bald, but I do have a lot more hair fall than I used to. I can notice it kasi pagising ko, pur buhok yung unan ko. Pretty annoying, but something I'll have to deal with. Baka magpakalbo na ako sometime this week para hindi na ako mamblema pa. Nausea is kind of constant. Parang nasanay na ako. I'm always dizzy in some way or another. Sometimes it's a lot less, sometimes it's a lot more. And yun nga, yung dryness. My mouth is always dry and I always feel dehydrated. So I drink a lot. I must drink a lot of water. Tapos well, yun lang naman. Wala naman masyadong nangyari, uneventful. This morning I still felt bad. Hindi pa din okay ang feeling. Right now actually I still have a headache. Here, particularly, behind my eye socket. But yeah, it's bearable. A lot more bearable than yesterday when I was like freezing in this Philippine weather. Freezing. Sobrang init pero giniginaw ako kasi taas ng temperature ako. Buti lang di talaga ako nalagnat. And bawas daw muna ako sa paggagala. Like I have to take a day to recover and have my immune system build up again. Which is, the good news is yung white blood cell count ko okay lang. So it's still pretty normal so far. The last chemotherapy day for this cycle, the first cycle, is next week, June 6. Outpatient chemotherapy ulit. So we'll see how it goes. So inpatient versus outpatient chemotherapy. Which do I prefer? I prefer inpatient, syempre. Kasi inpatient, my doctor is always there. If I'm worried about something, napadali niyang i-reach. I mean, outside of office, outside naman, madali din na siya matawagan, pero nahihiya ako. Ayun. Pag inpatient, everything's brought in and basically I just have to sit and marinate in chemotherapy. Outpatient, I go out, I go in, I go out. There's danger of exposure. There's also still that worry na baka magkalagnat ako. And what if something happens to me when I'm not in the hospital? Pero it's manageable. Yeah. We're still fighting and still keeping on. Some recommendation for today is Sniff by DOMi and Beck. Chill lang tayo. And we're just gonna ride it out. Good vibes. Anyway, goodbye. See you next week and take care of yourself.